What is that thing? I was out in the yard when I saw something weird just above the trees. I grabbed my infrared camera and it zoomed in. It looked like two white arcs. As I watched, it flew silently to the right and out of sight. What was it? Was it some kind of UFO, a meteor, a rocket? Let's back up a little. I actually saw it earlier when it looked like this. Two arcs kind of falling out of the sky. What the heck? I zoomed in. Kind of looks like a plane, but why is it flying straight down? Is it crashing? Let's back up a little more. What I actually saw first was this, a long contrail from a plane. It had just flown over my house, so it was actually flying directly away from me. It looks like it's flying down towards the horizon, but it's really just flying away, so it's getting closer to the horizon. It looks like it's flying down. It's easier to see this when you have this wider context and you can actually zoom in and see that it's a plane. So I started this video with two shots out of context because it's something we see all the time. We see it in UFO research, but we also see it in most conspiracy theories. Something is presented with very little surrounding context, like this photo of distant contrails, but blurry and dark, or at sunset, so it looks strange. And because you can't tell what it is, it makes it much easier to accept highly speculative explanations like missiles, meteors, or even aliens. A good example of something out of context is these white flashes on the side of the World Trade Center as it collapses. The flashes are on the dark side of the building, so the simple explanation of falling glass reflecting sunlight simply doesn't occur to people. Lacking context, lacking the bigger picture, they readily accept the idea that it can only be from explosive demolition charges or whatever is suggested. But when you point out the bigger picture, when you describe the bigger picture, when you describe that similar flashes happen in midair, that different cameras record the flashes at different times, that the sun flashing off glass can be seen for very, very long distances, and the angle of the sun at that precise time on that day was almost parallel with the dark side of the building. Suddenly, falling glass flashing in the sun makes a lot more sense. Context is everything. Often, though, we don't have context. So I always suggest two things. Firstly, don't rush to judgment. Make a list of possible explanations, but don't strike anything off the list. Don't eliminate anything if there's a possibility of you getting more information that might put that thing back on the list. Secondly, seek out context. It's often out there. Try doing things like adding the word debunked or explained to your Google searches. See what crops up. Don't trust it, but see if it checks out, verify it, then revise your list with as much information as possible. Always try to work with as much context as you can.